week on Profiles, we take inspiration from Krie Lopez, founder and CEO of Messy Bessy. She's made it her life mission to transform lives through this social enterprise with a triple bottom line: people, planet, and profit. The 40-year-old social entrepreneur started the company in 2007 with a capital of 50,000 pesos. Her mission: to help formerly abused, trafficked, or impoverished young adults through education and employment. Krie, can you tell us about your products?
Yeah, well, so this is pretty much all our products. We started with home and then moved on to personal care. And basically, they're natural products, meaning they're made with ingredients that are derived from nature. This notebook is, I think, one of my very first. It's in 2007. So this is one of my very first work notebooks for Messy Bessy. And sometimes I look at it just to remind me of how small we were back then. So here's our production schedule saying we made 11 bottles of one and 15 bottles of another.
So this is like your accounting notebook?
Yes, everything's here.
Messy Bessy has expanded massively since then. We find out how every purchase helps scholars have a good second start. Congratulations, Messy Bessy is turning 10 years old this year.
Yes, in November.
Quite a journey. And I want to talk about the roots of Messy Bessy. You first started with Verlani Foundation. You were really helping girls, sexually abused girls. Tell me about that time.
So I had just come from the States, a brief visit to the Lancy Street Foundation. That's the foundation where we were really inspired to start this up. And then when we came home to Manila, it was by fate that Verlani was presented to us. So we presented to them our idea and our program. So that's really how it started.
So it was, but now it's expanded since then. Before it was mostly where you're really just dealing with women.
Yes, so our first batch of what we call learners were sexually abused girls. And because at that time, Verlani thought that they were the most vulnerable sector of the youth. So that also was an eye-opener for me, that these girls are really the ones who need the most help and were the ones who are most at risk of not succeeding.
And that's why you call them learners, because you want them to go to school, you want them to have an education.
Yes, and we want them to kind of acknowledge that they still need to go to high school and college and learn all these other things.
So everyone who works here, they're all studying.
Yes.
They're all in school, and you expect them to do well, right?
Yes.
Otherwise...
I mean, we don't expect them to get super high grades. We recognize that many of them are not the ones who would typically get a scholarship offhand, and we also recognize that a lot of them have experiences in the past that kind of gives them more of a difficulty to kind of go through school. We do try to equip them with a lot of things that will hopefully be able to get them a college degree.
So this is what you call, this is the Helping Ourselves program.
That is kind of like what we call our software, or something that we have developed from 6-7 years ago, and that it has evolved over the years. And it really was meant to address all these different issues that we did not expect as we were growing the company. So issues like, for example, the need for psychosocial support, the need for family support, the need to enhance their financial literacy, their work ethic. So all these other things that I didn't know, because in the beginning I thought giving work was enough to give them dignity and enough to propel them to self-reliance. But then I realized, okay, we need education too. So I thought giving work and education was enough. But even that's not enough, and that was a shock to all of us.
You've had some difficult times. Some of them stole from you, so you even had to terminate a group of them.
Yes.
What were some of the big challenges that you had to go through before you found that perfect formula?
Yeah, well, it's a lot of the trust issue from them, and understandably so. Here we are, preaching that we can help them, and given what they've been through, a lot of them have trust issues in terms of people pretending to help them. So that was one. Another one is also striking a balance between making money and then helping, which also costs money. So up to this day, we always have to balance that.
Well, can you tell me a little bit about their background? Who are these people? You said, yes, trust is an issue. How difficult has it been for them?
Well, we have a range of young adults. Something also we learned to do over the years is to have a range. So we have the superstars of the community, those who are smart and who are likely to get scholarships on their own because they are academically gifted, and driven as well. And then we have those who grew up in the streets, so they don't, or those who don't have strong family ties. So these are a little bit more at-risk kids because they have a lot of psychological issues to deal with. And then we have the heavier cases. So these are the cases of abuse, of rape, of child trafficking. So these are the really vulnerable cases that we have here.
And how do they come to you? Do you go out and find them, or how do they come into the program?
It's a mix of things. Sometimes they come directly from depressed communities. Some are referred by each other, by them. Some we get from foundations that we're partnered with. Some are scholars who are looking for extra work to kind of make them finish school.
So right now you have 88 staff, right?
Yes,
And you had
88.
your first college graduate in 2015?
Yes.
Now how many college graduates?
I believe there are 16 now.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
great.
Nakapasok ako sa Messy Bessy sa tulong ng pinsan ko po. Siya po yung nauna dito. Pinasok niya ako dito kasi po, yun nga, kasi gusto ko po talaga mag-aral. Wala lang talaga akong opportunity para makapag-aral kasi ako nga po yung Ako po yung panganay sa amin magkakapatid. Bali, sinuportahan ko po yung kapatid ko para makatapos muna siya bago po ako. Dito ko rin unang na subukan na mag-office work. Yun lang, opportunity lang yung kailangan namin pala para mapatunayan namin, kaya namin, kahit hindi kami before mga college graduate.
And you have partnered with institutions like the Manila Business College.
Yeah, so Manila Business College is our first and our key partner in our education, in our college component. So they've been really understanding of the predicament of our kids, and they've given us a big discount on their tuition fee that the kids pay for themselves, actually. We pay for it up front, but they slowly pay for it back through
So
work.
it's like a student loan in a way.
Yes, but very, very friendly student loan.
Yeah. When you look back at how this has grown, did you ever imagine it would be where it is now?
No, never. I thought my original business model was selling in a weekend market and then making them go to school during the week. That was our business model back then.
Social entrepreneur Krie Lopez put up Messy Bessy to help address poverty, particularly to give at-risk adults opportunities for a brighter future. She explains the key principles that guide her employees, whom she calls learners.
So these are our core values. We call them the RIPE values because it's RIPE, respect, integrity, passion, and excellence. So we always talk about this every morning, as I told you, and it's even ingrained in their performance appraisals. So when we evaluate their performances every 3 months.
Pinaka-goal ko talaga kasi na-motivate ako kay Miss Krie na magkaroon din ng sarili kong enterprise na tumutulong din sa mga kapuspalad na katulad ko.
Do you feel that there may be bigger pressures on women in, to really succeed? How has it been for you? What do you
Yeah, I think that's true. I mean, a lot of the pressure comes not just from society, but also from ourselves. We just want to be the perfect mom, the perfect business person, and it's, I don't know why, but we have to look good.
Exactly.
So I don't see the guys putting as much pressure on themselves as we do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's one thing we need to work on. There's no better time than now in terms of women empowerment, I
Yes.
believe. I think us women are as empowered as we've ever been.
You did a commencement speech for the Beacon students in
Yes.
2016, and you talked about your story. You said when you did your exit interview in college at
Yes.
Ateneo, your college professor asked you what you wanted to do, and you said you really wanted to get into social development. And
Yes.
he was shocked.
Yes.
But yet you pursued what everyone expected of you. You went into the corporate world.
Yes, I did. You know what? It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. Also because the company I joined, Starbucks, is not your typical corporate settings.
And you headed corporate social responsibility there.
At the end, yes,
Yeah.
because kind of my heart was already looking for it, I suppose.
And so after 8 years, you left and decided to really research and study more about social entrepreneurship.
Yeah, because I kind of got frustrated with CSR being just relying on the earnings of the company and then kind of also being confined with the company's CSR goals.
And coming up with these products, Messy Bessy, this was 2007.
Yes.
Do you remember the first time you actually tried to come up with a product? Because you were just researching for recipes online.
I think I came up with 7 to 9 products. Surface cleaners, I chose the easy ones, the ones that were easy to make. Basically just mixing water with, a little bit of soap and oils. And I even sent it to all my in-laws and my titas to test the product. And yeah, it just started that way.
Choose Messy Bessy. It's a no-brainer.
And I love really your logo, so cute. This is your artwork. This is the first one you
Yes.
came up with. What made you decide to come up with this?
No, you know what? This was a painting I painted years before Messy Bessy started. So it was just one of those, I used to paint as a hobby, and I particularly like painting fuller women or fuller people because there were lots of shadows.
So from the home cleaners, you also now have bath, men's, even a men's line,
a
baby line.
Yes.
And how do you come up with these products? Do you involve also your staff, or is this all you? Do you try to get them somehow to offer ideas or train them in that way?
A lot of our ideas come from our customers. So a lot of them request, oh, can we have something that we can use on the toilet bowl or on the floor? So it's really mostly from the customers and then from internal needs as well.
Yeah.
So we come up with ideas. Like people who have pets here are now wanting a pet line.
So we might be seeing a
Yes, hopefully.
messy doggy.
Yes, messy
soon.
doggy.
Yeah. What have been the biggest challenges for you when it comes to social entrepreneurship? For you, what have been the most difficult parts of this whole endeavor?
Again, well, for one thing, we are kind of alone. I mean, obviously, we're not the only social enterprise, but I think what we're doing, focusing on the young adults, it's very specific and very rare. So I think in the Philippines, I don't think there's any other organization that does it the way we do. And even globally, it's very difficult, and we've been looking, for kind of trailblazers out there that we can look up to and emulate. So that's one challenge, but it makes it exciting too. Another challenge, obviously, is keeping it sustainable. It's not cheap to hire these kids and then to also provide all these other programs that have no profit responsibility, like psychosocial support, even our little things, like we have rewards programs, we have morning sessions talking about values. I mean, when they do that, they're being paid while they're doing that, right? So everything has a cost.
Did you have any mentors in this field, or do you look up to anyone in particular for inspiration?
Well, to many people. I mean, for example, my husband, he's a successful businessman, so obviously I always go to him when it comes to really more the profitable side and all of that. For the social side, I have a lot of peers in the industry, so we always talk to each other. Kind of let out our frustrations with each other.
Like a support group.
Yeah, support group.
Now, I want to ask about your husband, Noe.
Yes.
Very interesting story there too. He was your boss when you were working with Starbucks.
Yes.
Now, so you met there. That was also a delicate situation then at the time, no? So how did that happen?
Okay,
Was it love at first sight?
No. So we started dating towards the end, obviously. Well, I resigned because we got engaged, and then I said, okay, I'm out. But yeah, it was obviously it was awkward because you can't. There's a company policy in any company that you can't really have a relationship with your direct report.
Yeah.
So I even had to be moved because of the situation that he had to announce. I don't want to relive
So you didn't
it.
want to be there when he announced
No, I didn't go to work. It's one of those I don't want to relive moments.
Yeah. So you had known each other, but it was so after finding when you left, things happened pretty quickly, right?
Yes, we got married right away, and then it's been happy since then.
Yeah, and you waited 11 years till you had your first child.
Yes, and you know, obviously that's a struggle.
Yeah.
I know I share with many women out there, but at the same time, I don't think Messy Bessy would be around had I not been through that.
Yeah.
You know, Messy Bessy is my first baby, and to put up a business takes so much time, so much effort. And now having children, I know that I don't think I would have been capable of doing what I did back then.
And you always say that there's similarities between raising the children and bringing up Messy Bessy.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's the grit, you know? I mean, raising a baby, you have to keep waking up every 2 hours, and it's not easy. And here, too, I mean, you keep falling, you have to keep getting up every day, every year. You just have to keep pushing on.
How do you expose your children to this whole issue when you talk to them about maybe social development and entrepreneurship? Do you try to teach them or instill these values?
Well, my eldest is only 5, but I definitely already tell her about the inequalities that we're facing and how thankful she should always be.
Yes.
I've started taking her to the orphanage, which my mom did to me at that age. So it's a tradition I'm passing down, and I think it even if it seems simple, it really just opens your eyes, I think, and kind of makes it a reality from early on.
And then how do you make sure you manage your time properly, that you dedicate enough time for your personal life and work?
Someone once said that there's no such thing as a balance, and when I heard that, I was liberated. I don't think there is. You know, it's like a dance, I think, and when you're at work, at least for me, what I do is when I'm at work, I give it my 100%. And then when I'm home, I give it my 100%. I try. That's how I manage.
Messy Bessy CEO and founder Krie Lopez is committed to empowering and changing lives through education and livelihood. The employees here are also scholars, or as they're called here, learners. Their inspiring stories are proudly stamped on the product labels. On each of the products you feature.
So there's a small part that shows the scholar, one of the scholars that we're helping.
So this is Josh over here.
Yes, this is a bit of a milestone for us because for the longest time, we wouldn't put anything about their social program on the label. But now we feel after 9 years or 8 years, we feel that the brand has established itself enough as a respectable, effective brand. So now's the time we thought, okay, let's start telling people a little bit about what we do.
Yung community namin, nag-offer sila sa barangay namin na may isang business na pwede kaming tulungan mag-aral, then nagtatrabaho kami. Para naisip ko, gusto kong i-grab yung opportunity kasi may mga problem din sa bahay na hindi kami masustain sa money para makapag-college. Nakakasalamuha ko si Miss Krie nung nagsimula ako dito. Sobrang humble niyang tao and yung dedication niya sa amin, doon nakikita ko yung advocacy niya eh. Yung gusto niyang tumulong sa ibang kabataan, yung mga nangangarap.
Ngayon, bali, tinuturuan ako ni Messy Bessy at saka ng House Foundation na i-build up yung self-confidence namin.
Dahil nga po sa financial problem namin sa bahay, also I was already almost discouraged to continue my studies. When I came here in Messy Bessy, they taught me na wag mag-give up agad. Maraming ways pa para makabangon pa.
It's from her staff and learners that Krie gets the most fulfillment.
They are really not only the reason why we're here, but they're the reason why we get up every morning and go to work. We have the privilege of going to work that doesn't feel like work because of them. They grow so much and evolve so much, and it's even hard to quantify it. But we see it. We see it from the time they come in when they're so insecure or so undisciplined, and then you see them evolve, and then later on you'll see them giving advice already and being so mature. Wonderful. It's priceless.
It's almost like you're a mother to them, aren't you, or something?
Yes.
Yeah, you have so many children here. You have 88
Well,
children.
not me alone. You know, I don't want to take credit.
Yeah.
We're around 20 now who are kind of their support group. Our psychologist once said that it takes a village to raise a child. So what we're doing here is actually recreating that village.
Where do you see this all going?
Well, Messy Bessy, we'd love to take it global. I think it's good enough to be on that platform, on that stage. As for what we're doing here, since our first graduate in October, we put up our nonprofit called House Foundation.
Which stands for helping ourselves through sustainable enterprise.
Yes, so it's always about helping ourselves. And what we're doing now, and it's already started, is we're partnering with other businesses to kind of replicate what Messy Bessy does. So if we're able to take in 88 kids and kind of keep it sustainable at the same time, we're going to these bigger, highly profitable companies telling them, look, take in 2, take in 10. And maybe all of us together, because Messy Bessy cannot do it alone, can rid, I think there are 5 million of them who are kind of out of school and really at risk of living a lifetime of poverty.
What would you say are some of the biggest lessons that you've learned throughout this in social entrepreneurship, dealing with all of these people?
I think one of the things we've learned is really the importance of sustainability, meaning the importance of making sure that we have enough resources to sustain the programs. Because once you come in to the lives of these young adults and tell them, we're here to help, but then you don't have the means to help them, that's already a problem. So sustainability is an obligation actually to them, because you're helping them. So another lesson I learned is really to keep the integrity of the program intact as you grow. So always focus on why are we here, why do we do this? Keep the integrity of wanting them to succeed, because it's easy to get lost, especially if you get grants, for example, or if the business is doing well. It's easy to get lost in other facets of the organization.